and welcome to Altcoin Alpha. We're joined today by crypto legend Donovan from D.I.Y Investing. Donovan, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
So those of you who don't know, Donovan has like 53K subs on Twitter and 85K subs on YouTube. That's just like super impressive, man. Like, I need some tips.
Well, be early to crypto and then just make content every day and don't work a normal job. That's it.
Consistency. Love it. We've got 𝙎𝖒𝖒𝖞𝕮𝖍𝖈. We've got Hodpril. You guys know them. OG Hexagon, PulseChain, Crypto Ambassador. Awesome chicks. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Dingo Wolf was the first one in chat. I love Dingo. And he said, let's LF Grove. I know what you mean there, Dingo. I've stopped myself from swearing because I'm so professional, not swearing today. Guys, we got a great show. I'm only giving it one day at a time. Class. That's what David James says, is one day at a time. Okay, it's not perfection, it's progression. All right, so we might just like crack into it. We got a great show today. Donovan's already done a stream today because he's so productive, and we're going to go into some of that. But first of all, like, Donovan, do you want to just tell people, if they don't know you, like a little bit about yourself and what your values are?
Yeah, so I got into crypto early 2016, bought Bitcoin at $450. I had a friend that like I was hanging out with at the time, and prior to that, I had just been going through like a lot of stuff like therapy programs, and I got sentenced to juvenile detention for 60 days. So then I just gotten out of all of that, and then I just happened to hang out with a friend who showed me Bitcoin, and then it just kind of clicked in my head that I knew it was the future. So I bought some. Like, that would have been 2015. I didn't buy it until probably 4 or 5 months later. I didn't have any money. So then I bought Bitcoin, rode out 2017, didn't really make any money. I like made money in the bull market and then lost it in the bear market. And then 2018, I made my YouTube channel, started actually covering crypto stuff. And obviously the last cycle took off. My channel kind of blew up along with it. And yeah, I've just been in crypto trading the whole entire way. I've been able to help my family get out of debt, help all of my friends and different people, even just people that know me, invest. And it's been an amazing opportunity. And I think that it's only going to get better with this cycle. So that's kind of why I made my YouTube channel, is to teach other people, show other people that they can also make money. And I don't think that there's a better way of doing it than what is found in crypto, considering like I didn't have any money when I started. So if I can do it, anybody can do it, because I didn't have anything.
That's awesome. I love your story, and I've been watching the Maddie stream and the Heartbeat stream, and I think there might be a Corey one there that I haven't quite got to, but I'm going to. Yeah, because I find like your personality quite interesting, and I meet a lot of people. I work in an emergency department, so for me to find someone interesting, it takes a lot. I hate to say that out loud.
I appreciate that.
But it's true. And these ladies here, they always pique my interest. I have them on like pretty much every show. But yeah, and one of the things I said to my husband, and I'll admit it to you, I'm like, I think he's a secret genius. And he goes, why do you say that? And I'm like, because I see so many faces, and there's something about like you know, when you look into like somebody's face and then you're like, oh, I know they're a genius. And then I kind of like nutted it down, and I'm like, just the way his eyes look, and I've like met geniuses before, and they have like a certain like look or ratio with, I think it's like pupil to iris ratio. I don't want to down this rabbit hole, which was like totally silly. But can I just ask you, like, are you a secret genius?
Honestly, I don't know like how you would define secret genius, because I didn't even graduate high school, dropped out of high school, haven't passed a math class since like 8th grade. Like, I type with 3 fingers. Like, when it really comes down to it, I was just like born on a farm, and like didn't really care about school, didn't really follow along with that. So like I look at myself as being like behind other people, and I wish that I was like more like, I wish I understood math better. I wish I understood other things a lot better. Like, I feel like I'm just good at finding other people that are a lot smarter than me and then learning from them, or even just copying them in a lot of ways. So it's like, even in high school, like the only way I was able to pass as long as I did was usually copying other people that I was friends with. Like, I was good at like being friends with people so I could get answers from them, and like I was good at being friends with people so I could change my grade after school, and then like they wouldn't tell on me. So honestly, my whole life I've just been better at like using my own people skills at getting resources around me. And so with crypto, it became really easy to just be able to communicate with a lot of these people. And like, I only look at what I've been able to do as far as like what somebody told me. So it's like, I'm just good at being able to find good people that I know are a lot smarter than me. I wouldn't even attribute that to me necessarily being some super genius. I just look at it as I just find people that are actually super geniuses.
But it must take a genius to recognize one, though, don't you think? Like to know that
Maybe.
you're onto a good thing.
Maybe I would like to at least think that. I mean, I hope I'm not, just struggling over here. I think I'm doing a little better than most people, but at the
Doing
same
great.
time, like I feel like everybody has their own little struggles and everybody has their own differences. And some people are going to be way more advanced at other things than some people are. A lot of people have more like mathematics skills and like more technical skills on things. They can do a lot better, in certain areas. Whereas like me, I feel like I just have the ability to be able to communicate with people, be able to see trends before they happen. And with that, having those two skills and then being early to crypto, like it's almost the perfect combination. Cause like if you can identify the long-term trends, if you can be early to narratives before they happen, and you can find the right people to put in your circle that you feel like are going to help you grow, then ultimately you're going to at least, like, even if you're all the way down here, you don't know anything, you're going to at least come up to a certain extent to those people. And then, you don't have to be a genius, but even if you take 25% of what a genius has to say, you're probably going to come out pretty far ahead of the rest of the group.
Nice. Hodpril, Sammy, do you want to ask DIY Investing a question?
Yeah, so DIY investing. So it sounds like you've had a really interesting life, and I love these stories of people basically going for that. I'm never gonna go anywhere or get anywhere. Not even finishing high school to probably becoming, very good at crypto and making a lot of money. So why did you go to juvie?
I wanted to ask that as well. I was going to interrupt and be like, you don't have to answer, by the way. It's like, no.
No, I don't mind talking about it. Like basically I was just really into drugs. And to be honest, like that's how I got into Bitcoin, was like black market websites and stuff. Like that's how I learned about Bitcoin. It was the only use for Bitcoin back in 2016 anyways, unless you were like some sophisticated computer miner, which I was not. So I just happened to like find it because of that. But it was like, at that time I was living at my parents' house. I would have been like 17. It would have been like a possession charge and then a paraphernalia charge and then a distribution charge. But I think that they dropped the distribution charge because I had to go to the court date a day before my 18th birthday. So it was like, okay, here's this plea deal. Like, we'll drop that charge. You take these other charges, or you can fight it and then like go to real jail. And I was like, no, like, please, sir, I'm a good boy. Like, no, I don't belong in real jail. So I just took the plea deal. And, like everything worked out. Like I did everything I needed to do. I was on probation. Like I never had any issues. Like I got off early. They all loved me. When I told the judge I was into crypto, they were all super impressed with it. So like I got way less time for all of everything. And I've always been good at like, being a good kid, I was on the basketball team. So like, even though I wasn't good at school, like I had a way with working with teachers to where like I could kind of make things work out. So I've always been able to make it work regardless of the situation. And it's like back then it was, me getting into trouble and then finding Bitcoin, even trying to like do more trouble with it. But then when I found Bitcoin, that was where I was like, I found my way to like get out of that lifestyle. And it was finally like something I was genuinely passionate about, to where I stopped hanging out with the same people. I stopped, I stopped doing the same things and just solely focused on investing and learning how to trade. So that was kind of like the whole story of how that all started.
Well, that's awesome. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that you found a way out, and maybe you had to go through, some hard times, but where you are today is, you're in a really great place.
Yeah,
So that's
thank you. I really appreciate that.
Amazing story.
Hodpril, do you want to ask DIY Investing a question before we start smashing into altcoin alpha?
Yeah, I do. I know you you invest in coins and tokens and everything. How much are you gung ho about the DeFi movement? Like, is that a big part of your?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think that that's really where the value of crypto is essentially in DeFi, considering if all of our money is going to become, decentralized and move to crypto, then it would make sense that finances where that would all, be located at. So the last cycle with DeFi taking off for the first time, certain narratives and different, really through Uniswap that it all happened. I think this cycle, it's actually going to be way more profound. There's going to be way more profit. And so the opportunities we have this time around compared to last cycle, like I remember you spending $200 in a gas fee just to send some NFTs to a different wallet. So like knowing how bad Ethereum is, understanding how many more opportunities there are inside of the market with like new DeFi protocols, new scaling solutions with layer twos. I think that that's probably where the majority of the profit is going to be made. And if I think about like where I've put the majority of my investments, it's probably like majority inside of DeFi related protocols.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Awesome.
We're totally into DeFi. We every stream we talk about PulseChain being real DeFi. Yeah, I love talking about the principles of crypto because I think Richard Hart's just really nailed it, and a lot of like other communities claim it, but they don't have it.
Well, they don't. Like if you really compare all of the different chains, like what Richard Hart created, as far as it being like real crypto, like what the values were when I got into crypto in 2016, it was all like Bitcoin, libertarian movement, freedom to be your own bank, like be your own person. That's why I got into crypto. And then it like drifted far from that. And it's not like that. Now it's just dominated by venture capitalists that are making money off everybody else, shilling it to retail investors who don't know any better. Whereas I feel like what happened with PulseChain and that whole ecosystem, I actually started buying into it because of the initial values that everybody had. It's all community driven. Everything anybody does is always funded by the community. And that's what I think is just the most valuable aspect. So like when you compare the other ones, there might be good communities, but everybody's there for just like, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's here for profit, but some people are more so driven in other communities where I feel like this has been one of the more helpful, like original 2017-16 type of like crypto community that I remember resonating so much with when I got in.
We have so many different layers to the community, and like the people are so varied. Like you really just can't box us. Like I got a DM from a theologist the other day that's into policy change. And it's super interesting because like there's just so many different kinds of people, and it really keeps me like on my toes when it comes to like interaction with people, the Hexagon community, because the personalities are varied. You get people that are new, and you get people that are worth more money than you can even fathom. Like you can't even picture the amount that they're worth, but they're willing to talk to you the same as the person that's new, which is a strange concept. But we're going to get into altcoins now. And this is going to be kind of fun because like usually we do have the whole stream about principles and those kind of good things. But today is more kind of like a little bit more just like talking about the things that are just doing really well and what we're excited about. And maybe some, we'll go into some alpha, into some strategies and things that we like. So there's no kind of rules here so that each person can say like what coin they actually do like. If that all happens to be PulseChain, that's great. If it's not in PulseChain, well, that's cool too. Like we all can make our own decisions about what we want to do with ourselves. So what we might start off with is we'll go around the room and just say like our top 5, and it doesn't have to be 5. It can be like 3 or 10 or whatever, but just mention some tokens that are kind of going around in your head. And then yeah, we'll just go from there. So D.I.Y Investing, do you want to start us off with your top 5, just naming them, and then we'll go into detail over something someone says. We'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah. So honestly, like I sat here for like an hour trying to figure out what coins I was going to talk about. And I just like couldn't figure out like which coins I wanted to talk about. So I just came up with narratives instead, because I feel like this is probably going to be more valuable anyways than talking about one coin. So I made 5 narratives that I think are probably going to be the most profitable ones to follow over the course of the whole bull run. And the first one's BRC20. So like anything built on Bitcoin's network. Like when you think about how much value is created with NFTs, DeFi, all of the other related protocols on Ethereum, and how much less Ethereum is worth versus Bitcoin. And now we're going to have Bitcoin with all of these new chains and NFTs and different things. I think that that's probably going to be one of the biggest narratives, if not the biggest narrative to follow. And then the number 2 one is layer twos. anything that's scaling for Ethereum. I think Ethereum is obviously going to be bullish. So if you're betting on Ethereum being kind of the backbone of DeFi, like it has been with the first movers advantage, then layer twos are going to help solve all of the scalability issues with the gas fees and whatnot. So like 3 that I like, specific tokens. Oh, I'd say one that I like is 𝙎𝖒𝖒𝖐. I think that that's like the best layer 2 token right now to hold. I would say Arbitrum and Optimism, but I don't think that those tokens necessarily are the best hold. I think that the tokens in the ecosystem are solid, but 𝙎𝖒𝖒𝖐 itself, that token is really solid. I think that everybody should definitely have exposure to that. And then number 3, decentralized exchanges with revenue sharing. So one of the issues with the last cycle was obviously centralized exchanges, lenders, all of these things going bankrupt, Sam Bankman-Fried scamming everybody. All of that has really, made everybody distrust all of these exchanges. The more we move towards decentralization, the more I think that these exchanges are actually going to get adoption. What we're seeing right now is DeFi is navigating towards Arbitrum. That seems to be like the chain with the most adoption right now. It seems to be where all of the main DeFi protocols and exchanges seem to be gravitating towards. And I like GMX over there. That's one of my biggest investments. GMX generates a significant amount of revenue just from their fees that are traded. So imagine how much volume is going to be coming in a full-blown bull market with institutions and all of that. I think that it's going to end up sending the token insanely high, considering providing liquidity inside of their exchange allows you to participate in the revenue sharing opportunities. And I think that that's ultimately the future of finance. So watch out for DEXs. Number 4 is artificial intelligence. Look for anything to do with that, specifically cryptos where like you can provide a platform for other ones like ecosystems. Tau BitTensor is a really solid pick, considering I think that that's probably going to be one of the biggest bangers over this next cycle with AI. But there's a lot of other ones, Fetch, Ocean Protocol. There's other ones I can think of off the top of my head too. But I think that's one of the main narratives you definitely want to be watching for. And then number 5, the final one is GameFi. So like gaming, anything to do with gaming, and then also finance, where you can have NFTs, where you can have launch pads, where you can be building these games that have all of the above and like combined metaverse stuff. All of that I think is going to be taking a huge leap over the next few years. I'm not really into gaming, but I do know that there's going to be a lot of people that are. Like, all my friends play video games still to this day. So it's like, I see a lot of value in that. I think all of that stuff's going to take off. So really, like, all of those narratives are really solid. There's a few coins on top of that. I think I've rambled on enough and given you guys enough value to look at.
That was really great.
Awesome.
That'd be like a great clip right there. Thank you. And we'll circle back around in a sec. Sammy, you're up. Oh, you're muted.
You are muted, Sammy.
Whoopsies. So obviously, I'm a big Richard Hart fan, and have been for a long time. And, I think that the whole Richard Hart ecosystem is going to be really strong in the bull market. And I think we're just warming up for what's coming. So I am in, I think, nearly all of Richard Hart's coins, but I have to reel them off. So I think, I think we're really going to kill it, because we have such an amazing community. And Richard Hart's not going to let it fail. He's one of the best dudes in the business, and he knows what he's doing. So that's more than 5 coins, all his stuff. I'm also on the PulseChain. I mean, I go to PulseChain because Ethereum is just way too expensive. I do experiment a little with BSC, and a little bit with 𝙎𝖒𝖒𝖐𝖆, but only tiny compared to what I do with PulseChain. So at the moment, I'm a bit of a big Pulse stripper. I love Pulse strip. I love the concept. I love the concept that it was on BSC and it was really successful, even though it has dropped a lot. But now they've actually reinvented it on PulseChain. And it's not for everyone. They have gardens, they have faucets. So it's that same scenario where you're earning interest from compounding. So you can do your gardening and you can earn, up to 300%. And you can stake like PulseChain, PulseX, Teddy Bear, all those PulseChain coins. But it's interactive. So to compound, you have to compound every day. So it's not for the lazy person, but you can really make some excellent money. So yeah, they're my main things that I'm doing now. Outside of that, I have also got a little bit of ICP. That's Internet Computer Protocol, which that's like basically a Web3 type thing, which, does everything except probably make you breakfast and wash your dishes. But I've heard the gaming and the AI is going to be really big this cycle. But yeah, I'm not. I don't jump into everything. Even though I am spread out a little bit, I tend to more go for the PulseChain side of things, and then a little bit of layer one type stuff on Ethereum. But on all the chains. But they're like my top picks. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Nice, Sammy. Nice. And we're going to circle back around to everyone and get dive a bit deeper into what everyone says. Hodpril?
Well, I'm mostly a PulseChain maxi, and why wouldn't I be during this crazy pump that is happening? So I almost think you're crazy not to go into PulseChain at least partially, a little bit. But if you're into Ethereum, I would say if you're open to Titan X, try to see what's being built upon it. It's not necessarily just Hyper. Hyper is one of the things. Just keep your eyes open for what projects could be built on that and what they do. It might be interesting. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm bullish on everything on PulseChain. I would say Pulse Inc. is absolutely, soaring, which is great. I thought that would happen. Pulse X, especially with, I think Power City with their launch of Earn, whenever that happens, that'll be interesting. It'll be like a sort of loan protocol for Pulse X and liquid loans. You know what I mean? Loan tokens is doing really well. As far as GameFi, Pulse Kittens is really cool on PulseChain. You can get the NFTs and stack them and get a bonus. Again, you have to compound. You have to herd the kittens. So you go in and you compound, kind of add that exponential factor to it. And ICASA is ripping. The whole Hedron and ICASA system. Don't shirk how important that is, and whatever Alex might be working on with a possible different version of that. So I'm really bullish on Inc. and ICASA right now, and both hexes on both chains. We had a payout parity the other day. I think it was 6.77 per T-share on both chains. I thought that was kind of fascinating. So almost all PulseChain, the stuff on PulseChain, but those are my top tokens.
Oh, I love it. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll just
love
rip
it too.
through. I'll just rip through mine, like what I wanted to say. I could probably do it in about 2 minutes. So I'm all PulseChain. I'm pretty much like a PulseChain maxi. Like my ultimate goal is just to herd everything eventually into PLS and then just like be a moon girl and ride any dips along the way, which I've been doing. Hasn't been easy. Anyway, so since the Grayscale discount went to 0, the Sacrifice wallet, no expectations, did bridge in and start buying. They used about 20 million. I think they did sell some too to like perhaps just have that little pullback there. And given that over $1 billion was sacrificed, no expectations, but that for me was incredibly bullish sign for PulseChain. And that made my day and I was extremely happy. We're still early. Like if you look at the total too, which is like all of altcoins, right? Like the price chart for it. Like last cycle, I think it got to like max 1.7 trillion market cap. So let's say like top of this cycle, we go to conservative like 3 trillion. We're currently at, I think, 778 billion. So if we're at 778 billion and we're going to 3 trillion, we're so early in the cycle. So the fact that we're getting these major pumps for me is just kind of blowing my mind. Like I was telling Hodpril, like I've got agnosia about it because I'm just kind of like trying to be like super zen so that I can hold my bags and hold my shit together. So the liquidity on PulseChain is like pretty out of this world. Like if you go on DeFi Llama, you can see total value locked. Like it's not just Pulse X. A lot of people look at Pulse X and think that that's the only total value that we have in PulseChain. But there's so many other pools, like all of the Fux pools, for example. So DeFi Llama has that set out like really nice so everyone can see that. And essentially for people that don't know about PulseChain, all of Richard's coins are bonded together super strong with deep liquidity. So when one goes up, they all kind of go up. But lately, Inc. has just been, oh my God, just phenomenal. So Inc. is the incentive. It's basically in the farm. So if you provide liquidity on Pulse X, Then you can stake your LP token in a farm, and the yield that you get, you're paid out in ink. And at the moment, there's an ink PLS pair and there's an ink PLSX pair. So the ink PLS pair is paying about 54%, and the ink PLSX pair, I think it's paying like 40 something percent. And that's a way that you can compound your ink, basically. So for me, what I would say to any whales out there thinking, like scratching their ball sack, thinking, do I invest? I'd be like, okay, number one, yes, stop scratching. Otherwise, you'll be left with your pants
How would
down.
a
Like I
whale
said,
scratch its balls?
well, they can't really, so it's really frustrating. So they just kind of
They
like
find a
roll.
rock
They do like a
and just-
barrel roll, and then they like kill spectators.
I'm
with a barrel
hoping this krill's sharp enough. I'm gonna just swim real fast in it.
So in the
no.
conference, I was actually speaking at the conference before the pump, and I made this whole analogy about Mobies. Like, don't be caught with your pants down holding your Mobi, because PulseChain is going to rip, and it's going to rip fast. And literally the next day it like ripped. I'm like, told ya.
Do you know how
Anyway.
Australian that sounds? Anyway.
I'm sorry. So anyway, any whales out there thinking, do I, don't I? So Richard Hart has made it pretty simple for whales to bridge in. If you bridge in D.I.Y, that's got the most liquidity on the other side in terms of stable coins. The bridge has 0% fee. It's a 0% bridge, and you should use the official bridge, which is on, just use the official bridge, pulsechain.com. We'll have all the links for the official bridge. And then when you come over, there's no, because they're all pumping because they're all bonded together, especially ink. So there would be no reason, if you were going to hold to the end of the cycle anyway, not to use the farm to compound your ink and compound your position. Because I don't see any disadvantage of that if they're both going up and you're getting more ink, and then you're compounding your position, and then eventually take it into whatever token is your particular flavor out of the RH tokens. So that's the way I'm thinking. I'll add in a meme coin and then I'll stop talking, and we're going to keep going around the room. My meme coin is HOA, which is basically the token for the Tangang. And they use that. If you hold HOA, then you get access to a lot of the free mint NFTs that happen on Free Mint Friday in the spaces. Yes, and they're heavily into like the orange icons that you see everywhere. But I'm going to stop talking now, and we can go into more of that stuff later. We're going to go back over to DIY investing. Do you want to take what else do you want to say? We're going to just open it up to DIY investing and just go wherever you want with the next bit of discussion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of rambled on a lot about everything but PulseChain and Hex and all of that. So I figured it'd be a good idea to actually talk a little bit about that, because I mean, I still see a lot of value in PulseChain and the whole ecosystem. It was like just recently that you saw the stream of me breaking down a lot of the different charts and stuff. That was me. I mean, I sacrificed for PulseChain, so I mean, I've been around in it for a little while, but I saw everything crash, and then the lawsuit happened, and then I was just kind of waiting for whenever the market would look good. And then I saw everything reverse. I saw everything break out, and so then that was kind of when I started making updates about it. And so to see everything break out as much as it has, I'm not surprised. It's definitely gone and outperformed more than I initially thought it would. But that's why, like, the best thing you can do is just be early and not try and second guess how high it's going to go, because a lot of the best performing things are going to outperform and, you know, actually end up. Well, one of the mistakes I made in the last cycle, like I bought Solana at 60 cents. I bought Terra Luna at 32 cents. I bought Phantom, you know, at the beginning. I sold Solana way too early at like a few X. I sold Terra and Phantom both at a 20X, and then I took the rest of the profits at a 40X, and then they went up like another 100X after that. So the best thing you can play is the whole cycle. Like, majority of people are going to see a lot of this stuff taking off, like Ink, for example. It's really blown off a lot. And so most people are going to end up selling after that big bear market. Whereas it's like, now we want to really focus on holding the whole cycle. And as all of these tokens have started breaking out, I think it's an early sign that there's plenty of money inside of this ecosystem. There's a lot of people that want to end up trading over here. And I think what separates PulseChain apart from like other ecosystems is how, you know, little there is of any development over there. There's only like a few key protocols that are pretty much giving us the basic necessities of what we need to be able to trade and do different DeFi things. But I think that over the next year to 2 years, we're going to see a lot more people actually adopting it. I mean, like, I've actually been talking with one of my buddies about launching a project on PulseChain. So I have a call.
Oh, can you just move on before you go into that DIY investing? Can you just move your mic like closer to you because I want to hear about your project? Yeah, we go. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, so basically, me and my buddy tomorrow are going to be on a call about talking about a project that we're going to be launching. We haven't fully decided where we're going to launch it, but we are thinking about PulseChain. I think that would probably be a good opportunity considering, like I just said, there's almost nobody building over here. So I want to build one over here. I think that would be really cool. We built a project in the last cycle. We had all kinds of different things, and that was really fun. But I think that this cycle will be even more fun doing it, considering we'd be earlier this time around than before. So that's kind of my next goal with PulseChain is actually put out a project, build on it, see what that's going to be like, because the community over here is truly unique. I've never actually seen another community like it. Can maybe say Bitcoin community, but I don't like the Bitcoin community because they're kind of mean. So it's I haven't got that way with you guys at all. Everybody's actually been pretty supportive. So I think that would be, another reason why, supporting the original values of crypto, it just seems right for me.
Awesome. I want to hear more about your project. But first we have I think it's a super sticker. I'm not used to what they all look like, or maybe it's a super chat, but thank you, Fast Abdul. And I'm not used to the currency, but thank you very much for your the money towards the channel. So I appreciate that. He said 2 fucks is a fork of Convex with PulseChain. We give more fucks and sometimes bribes. Has anyone heard about that? About 2 fucks before?
I'll look into it.
Yeah, we'll look into it.
No, but I've seen Fast Abdul on Telegram.
Yeah, I've seen him before. Yeah, I'm very familiar with him. It's a really cool name. So DIY investing, please go on. Is there any details about your project that you would be able to share at this stage?
Well, that's the thing. Tomorrow's pretty much when we're gonna really figure it out. The friends that I am building it with, we have a lot more art related connections. So I wouldn't be surprised if it pivoted towards that way, considering that's even what our last project was. We were tokenizing fine art. So we were buying actual authentic art pieces and then tokenizing them on the blockchain and then having auctions and things. And so the only reason that project didn't work out was because one of our partners got hacked. And so it drained all of our liquidity. It drained their liquidity.
No.
So then we weren't able to carry on. So
can you revamp that one? Would you revamp that one? That's such a need for that.
I mean, if somebody provided liquidity, technically you could.
How much liquidity do you need?
I don't know.
Okay.
We would just have to restart the whole project. I mean, it's not at this point, it's its own DAO. I don't know. At this point,
I would just say just don't kill it because project. I think it's there's definitely a need for that, and you would be one of the early movers in that space. And a lot of traditional artists, they don't see it working because they haven't seen it work before. Once they see it working, then you become the monopoly on it because you made it work and it's just there,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of, we could fix all of the mistakes of that project with this one. And I don't know what route we're going to take it with it, but I just have the guy that painted this piece behind me, he's got over 1 million followers on Instagram and he's one of my good friends. So it's having that direct connection with the art community. He knows however many other artists, it's just, those are seeming to be where a lot of my connections are. And there's no NFT stuff really going on for the most part in the whole market. It's becoming more popular now, but I think that that's really a big narrative that's going to stick around for the next cycle. And really anything on PulseChain, you're pretty much the first people doing it. So it's that's kind of the attraction for why I was thinking over here too.
That's exciting. Now, your new project, I'm just going to ask you in a slightly different way, the same question to try to get more information out of it. What kind of genre flavor is it?
Like I said, I really have no idea. We haven't even came up with anything. That's what tomorrow is to actually come up with ideas.
Cool, man. Yeah, we love people building on PulseChain. That's what it's for. And we often get people build stuff that is the first of its kind. It actually blows people's mind. And they do really, the founders do well, the people do well, everybody benefits. And examples of that would be ICOSA Hedron ecosystem. It would be the Fame, all of the stuff on Fame. It would be the Tangang stuff. They're really sort of doing some really cool things there with their farms and with their HOA and things like that. And there's people that have done really well and built really cool things. So we would encourage that on PulseChain. And once you kind of know which direction you're heading, just feel free to DM us and we can point you in. Maybe if you want to collab with some people that are already in that space, or we can definitely help you network within the space. That would be cool
for
to see
sure.
what
I
comes out of it.
appreciate that. I reached out to Axis and kind of let him know a little bit about what we were planning on doing, and he gave me a little information. And so, some of the people I've connected with, my thing with it is like, I'd love to make it a community driven thing one way or another. Like, that's kind of like, well, the whole reason of launching on PulseChain is the community. So it's like, you got to be able to incorporate that to a significant extent inside of the project. So I don't know how we'd be able to do it, but I want to be able to get as many people on board with it as I can. Anybody that's already on board with PulseChain, ultimately, whatever that idea and values are that we decide, like, I think that they're going to be universally accepted by everybody, and everybody will want to participate. So, if you guys all want to help out, whenever way that ends up looking, like, obviously I'll have more details once it comes, but yeah, I'll definitely keep you guys posted.
Yeah, for
Cool.
sure. I'd be interested. Okay, we're going to keep going around, and then I've got some just some tabs that I wanted to share, and it basically just goes a little bit more into some PulseChain stats and stuff. But Sammy, let's go back to you. Is there anything you want to dive into a bit deeper from what you said, Sammy?
No, not really. I think I'm just really happy, not just for myself, but for everyone here that, we have seen the market turn around, and the community, you can feel that positive vibe in the community. Everyone Twitters, happy again, not fighting, carrying on like pork chops. And I think that's when maybe it is time to keep watching videos, doing research, because I think sometimes social media is not beneficial for your portfolio. If you spend more time researching what's actually available and all the new stuff that's coming out and what you can do, you're going to be better off in the long run. But no, I'm just doing what I'm doing, loving my crypto, excited about these prices, and can't wait, to see what happens with it all.
Love it. Good vibes, Sammy. Hodpril, is there something you want to dive into based on what you said, or something new?
Yeah, I wanted to say, I'm just on here real quick, more of just a simple observation, that ink has apparently gone up 414% in the last 30 days.
I can't believe it.
That's crazy.
Do you know what? I did a stream with Clockwise Crypto, who unfortunately couldn't be here today. We did a stream with this guy. I won't tell you his name, and I honestly can't remember it. And it was with 𝖎𝖒ology, and we talked all about ink for half of the stream. And we were saying how undervalued it was. And first of all, I started off like hating the idea. I'm like, no, don't buy it. It's rubbish. And then after hearing Briz talk, I was like, you know what, guys? I'm actually wrong. And I'm gonna, after this stream, just buy ink. And,
oh, you did? Yes.
Yeah. So that was like, we did that stream, I want to say I don't know, maybe 2 months ago.
Nice.
And I'm spewing this guy like killed that stream because the stream pretty much was all about like how undervalued ink was. So ink is, sorry, Hodpril, keep going.
Oh, no, I mean, that's it. It's just crazy looking at these charts, because we've been kind of some of us have been micro looking at it, like, okay, in the last 5 minutes, it's up 1%. Oh, that's incredible. And then
even doing 1 minute.
And like,
you're breaking down
the
the like
chart, like, it's going up. No, it's going down. Someone sold. Who did this? Oh, this guy has lettuce hands. But when you go back and you look at the last 30 days, I mean, Pulse is over 100% up. That's crazy to me, like in the last 30 days. But just the numbers, I know they're in the green, but the numbers by them.
I know, it's crazy. This is a 1 month bubble, banter bubble, but he doesn't have ink on there. And you know what's hilarious? Every time the bubbles are in the background, you can see him like internally fuming and talking about another project, but it's happening every day. It's hilarious. And you know what I wanted to do? I didn't get time. I was going to clip him fuming and not talking about the only green bubbles behind him, like day after day. But I will, if I get time, which I might not, then I would do that. So that's just the bubbles. Like people, you can just see like, okay, so people that don't know, PLS, so PulseChain is a fork of Ethereum. It's a layer 1 total system state copy of Ethereum. And PLS is our gas token. It's the native coin, basically. and that's PLS. So all the gas is PLS. PLSX, that's the basically the DEX coin or DEX token, I should say. And then we've got the copy of Hex on PulseChain, which is PHEX. We've got Hex on Ethereum. So the biggest bubbles, like most days, and then ink, if we had an ink bubble, it would be like this. Is pretty much just like Richard Hart coins, which is like, it's so cool to see, like, as like a pretty much a Richard Hart maxi like this happening, because for 1 or 2 years, you know, we were kind of like in the red, and that was hard to take, and that was a long time like kind of waiting, but it's all starting to like come together, which is really cool. And I've got a couple of tweets I wanted to share. You guys can't see the tweet there, so I'll just read it out. But it's a Richard Hart tweet.
Yeah, we
and
can.
it's oh, you can see it? I'll make
Yep.
it even bigger then. So
Make it bigger.
there we go.
Yay.
Let's see. Can you see the writing now?
Yeah.
So it basically says up 50. This is 15 hours ago. Up 50% today and 7x in 12 days. But I didn't talk about it. Ink, the incentive token. It's very interesting, and here's why. It looks like half of it's only 70 million market cap is in PulseX liquidity pairs with PLSX and PLS. It's minted only by PulseX farmers, the only people that hold, and blah blah blah. Only people that farmed it. Sorry. So it's minted only by PulseX farmers. The only people that hold it farmed it or got it from someone who did. And the chart kind of looks like leverage on PLS and PLSX. So, and 𝙎𝖒𝖒𝖐𝖞𝕮𝖍𝖎𝖈 made a tweet as well about this. And I just want to
He's
bring
bullish on ink for sure. Has been for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you love when Richard Hart boasts? You know that, you know, things are going to be okay.
He's having a good time there with Lindsay. Where did Lindsay go? Lindsay, come back. She was cool, man. Oh, here we go. Like 𝙎𝖒𝖒𝖐𝖞𝕮𝖍𝖎𝖈 makes a lot of tweets, but there was this one in particular that I was looking for. Don't tell me I've lost it. Yeah, here it is. So ink is the real secret weapon because it makes percentage PulseX V1 LP yield go up, encouraging more people to lock up their coins to get more ink that they roll back into their LP and don't sell. So the secret to compounding your position is ink. And the fact that people are FOMOing into it is driving the reward yield in the farms, and they're getting paid out more in ink, which is driving the price of ink up even more. So ink's just going absolutely crazy, and they're all bonded together. And it's not just ink that's pumping, everything's pumping. So that's what I was talking about before in terms of like staking your LP token between PulseX and ink, or Pulse and ink. You're getting more ink, and then you're compounding your position. So that's really cool. Should we bring up an ink chart?
Go for it.
It looks good.
Ink.
Do it. Ink.
Ink used to be $80, right?
Exactly. So
Go
people
back up.
at home must be like, oh my God, like I can't buy this because look how much it's gone up.
Looks
So at the bottom,
amazing.
I think I
That
bought it at
chart.
like 50 cents, and now it's at like almost $3. But people don't understand, like PulseChain only came out May of last year, and the all-time high for ink is like $78. So the narrative is ink to obviously all-time high, which is $78. So you know how most of the time the narrative is like this coin to $1. Well, the narrative for ink is ink to $78, and it's at $3. So anyone looking at that chart going, "Oh, I'm too late," you're not.
Well, there was more volume on the chart during this breakout than there was at the prior all-time high. So like that should already, and it's like 25x away from the prior all-time high. So that's like the one in the whole ecosystem that I don't own, that I'm like right now watching, that I just want to buy a whole bunch of. So I'm hoping it comes down a little bit lower, because I'd love to buy some more. Well, I don't own any, but I'd love to buy a lot if it came down lower.
Oh man, me too. I keep looking under the couch. I'm like, where's my fiat? And then I scratch my head.
Where's my fiat?
And then I'm like, why do I have so many mortgages? I don't know. DeFi Llama has just tells you about like the total value locked on PulseChain. So PulseX has 245 million. Liquid loans is second, guys, 126 million. Fox is 35 million. Fiat Protocol 7 million, and then all these other millions in places I didn't realize. 9inch 6.4 million. Fame Protocol 3.6 million. Spark Swap has 3.5 million. Oh, Daytona Finance has 695,000. There you go. So there's lots of liquidity there for big whales. So for big whales that don't know, if you, in terms of swapping around for good order execution, 𝙎𝖒𝖒𝖈𝖆 is a DEX aggregator, and you will get your best order execution with the least slippage possible using 𝙎𝖒𝖒𝖈. So once you're over onto PulseChain and you want to swap around, then I would recommend using that. You can also swap around using PulseX, and you'll get a similar a deal, except if you are a whale, then those little tiny percentages actually do matter. So maybe look at 𝙎𝖒 as well. I'll throw it open to the floor, guys, what you guys want to talk about.
Throwing it
Everybody
open.
jump at once.
I had to readjust my headphones.
All right, let's do a scenario. So just say we're at a horse race. One of the horses is called PulseChain. One of the horses is called PHEX. One is EHEX. One is Inc. Who's gonna win the
When's
race?
the time? What's the time frame?
Yeah.
The height of the bull run. So the height of that year, the all-time highs, they've all hit all-time highs. Who's going to be the winner? And since they all move together,
Inc.
they're all going up. Who's going
I
to be the
think Inc. I think probably.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm going like PLS only because like towards the end or even like mid to end, I think people will FOMO in and they'll be like, oh, which one? Oh, I'm so confused right now. And they'll be like, oh, it's the native like coin. Oh, just get that one and see, well, maybe just buy a couple $100, see what happens.
What about PulseX? I mean, because I see with this, inkening is a possibility of like more of that farm stuff coming to fruition, maybe possibly single-sided staking on PulseX. I don't really know. I know the court case is kind of brought out to October or something, which is hilarious because that's right before the election in the US. So it's just going to be a hilarious time.
Write it in the chat, guys. Chat, what do you think? Put it in there. I hear what you're saying, Hodpril, and this comes back to the couch situation I'm having. And I feel like I'm that John Travolta meme, like, where is it? I honestly think right now Inc and PulseX are the most undervalued. And I knew this 2 weeks ago. And 2 weeks ago, I did the same thing, looking under my couch. And obviously, like, I had all of the stuff that I already had and a little bit of hedging. And I was at a standstill. And then I had to accept that I was at a standstill. Even though I saw that PulseX was so incredibly undervalued, like I was just kind of like, and I knew it was, and I knew I would regret things, but I didn't. I'm also at the phase where I'm trying not to move things around. I don't actually go into my cold storage much anymore at all, which is why I'm into free NFTs a lot, because it just keeps me entertained without like spending too much money.
Oh, but people can't hold during a pump, man. Oh God. I can finally do this. And they sell. Or here's something else. They go on benders, and you see them mostly like in the chat rooms, like, and they're not on downers. They're up all night.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, oh shit! I just bought a bunch of Pepe. I just bought a bunch of teddy bear. I just bought a bunch of ink, and then I forgot my seed phrase and I found it again, and then I got more. Like, you need to.
I love it.
Drink some NyQuil and go to sleep. Right?
Like the lavender, roll up your sleeves, like eat an orange, and then smell the lavender oil at the same time. There's like a Black Book episode on that. It's so funny. So is your answer, Hodpril? Okay, so Hodpril. Okay, my answer is PLS. What is your answer?
To what question though?
Oh, so the horse race, end of cycle, Richard, or any token, but Richard Hart token, that is the top of the pack.
Oh God, it depends on what happens. I mean, I'm thinking Inc for this cycle, maybe, but I know that's so weird to say because it's just an incentive token for the farm. And if I'm really going for the farm, I'm thinking PulseX, right? Because that's the actual token of the farm, which is being brought to fruition through Inc, which means that I have high hopes for the farming stuff.
They're kind of tied together because isn't the volume like the price tied to the volume on PulseX? So it's Now that makes sense. Yeah. And Donovan,
But
you
it's
were
hard.
saying,
It's not clear. I don't know.
yeah. What's your pick? You can do a Richard Hart and a non-Richard Hart if you like. DIY.
Well, honestly, like if I had to go Richard Hart, I'd say Inc. just because like the more volume that happens in PulseX, if you're bullish on PulseX, the more money that you're going to make inside of Inc. So to me, it's a leverage bet on PulseX. If you're bullish on PulseX, you're bullish. You would hold Inc. because you'd probably make a bigger ROI long term. So to me, that's the one I'm watching. Like that's the one I've been watching for the last little while. But I think the PulseX is a great one too. To me, those will be the two best performing ones in the ecosystem. There might be like there's always going to be.
I'll just pull your microphone up a little bit
You
to the
got-
side if you
yeah,
don't
you
mind.
got
Right, yeah,
muffled.
that's it.
Let me fix it.
You know, also, oh, sorry, go ahead, Donovan. Go ahead.
Hear me?
It's that front like plate. Like if you move that to the side,
Hello?
it's the underneath. Yeah, that's
Can you
good.
hear me
The
now?
underneath one's good.
Oh yeah, there we go.
I don't know the proper technical terms. The one that's round.
Okay, let me move it.
The
All right, so
switch
basically, I think that like Inc. will end up performing the best inside the Richard Hart ecosystem, and then if you want a token outside of that, Metis, like that to me is like the very best one. If you're looking for one that's got a significant amount of upside potential, like they've got hundreds of millions of dollars worth of grants that are going to be injected back into their market. So like more than their entire market cap, or at least the same amount as then their market cap is going to be put all the way back into some of these early projects. So like Tethys Finance, Hummus Protocol, Hermes, Maya DAO, Revenant, GameFi. I can't think of any more off the top of my head, but those are all going to be like really valuable projects that are going to be booming. And so like looking into Metis, that to me is like the one that's just got, I mean, looking at all the coins, they're like sub 10 mil market cap, and they've got like $500 million that they're going to be giving to these projects for grants. So it's like, I don't see how it doesn't just completely explode. So Inc. on PulseChain, PulseX, just with what's there right now. My coin, when I launch it, that's one's going to be the best one for sure. But then Metis DAO and some of those tokens inside of that ecosystem, I think that those are probably the best ones.
Thanks. Now, Sammy, you have to answer.
Yeah, sorry. So I'm definitely like PulseChain. Like my psychic intuition keeps saying easy 2 cents, easy 2 cents. I think it's gonna rip it.
Really? Oh.
But I think we could go higher, and especially with everyone being bullish, like I really think it's going to do really well. And if it does anything like Hex did, everyone when Hex came out was like a penny was in our dreams, like and then we slowly climbed. We hit a penny like just 12 months after. We were like, holy shit! And then it just kept. I mean, it pulled a 50 odd cents, like. And if it's a Richard Hart, if it's anything like that, like. I'm not even going to be surprised because I'm so bullish that I'll just go, oh, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. That's really cool. But, yeah, PulseChain for the win. But, you ladies are making me bullish. All of you and Donovan are making me bullish on Inc. And I farmed a shitload of Inc. But I sold it. So, anyway.
I did the same thing.
That's good
and
for taxes. That's good.
Yeah.
It's a lot. That's nice.
I think if you were going to provide liquidity between PulseX and Inc., you're going to be on a winning horse because you're going to win either. I think it'd just be a good time to dollar cost average in to both of them, since they're both doing so well.
Nice. I love it. The last thing I kind of wanted to say was about HOA. I think it's a bit of a sleeping giant in terms of NFTs, and yeah, that's the Tengang is doing a great job. Like when everything was bearish and a bit desolate on PulseChain, the Tengang was running like spaces that were going for hours, and I would say the traction they were getting on their spaces, they were getting really large numbers even in the bear. But they've got some really cool stuff going on in the way that they treat artists and the way that they give artists exposure. So I would say definitely don't fade the Tengang. And HOA. I think the chart, if you have a look at the chart, it's relatively new, but it's performing extraordinarily well. And the reason is if you hold it, you get access to the free NFT. So nobody's really selling the price down, and they have a number of other tokens that they use for different things, farms and so on, and buying NFTs and so on. which doesn't involve selling the HOA. So it just seems like it's this steady force that's the price action has been pretty lovely there. But we might wrap it up, guys, and we might go around and just say some final thoughts and where we can find you. So DIY Investing, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. You can find me on Twitter at 𝙎𝖒𝖒𝖈𝖆. Good luck finding that. Just look up DIY Investing. It'll probably be easier to find. YouTube, DIY Investing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much where I spend most of my time between Twitter and YouTube. So, thank you guys so much that anybody that's going to end up, following along that watches this. Thank you guys so much for having me on here. It's been a pleasure to talk. I look at my analytics on YouTube and it's like, I believe the last time I checked, it was 96.5% male between 30 to 45. So you guys are the 4.5% of the females that actually produce crypto. Well, are in crypto, let alone producing crypto content. So shout out to you guys. I think it's awesome. I think that there needs to be more women in crypto. There's not very many, but I've actually noticed a lot in PulseChain and Hex.
We have heaps of PulseChain for some reason. I don't know why.
There's tons of them. So it doesn't really surprise me that, the one podcast I do with women is inside of this community. So I really do appreciate you guys having me on, though. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Yeah, we get that sometimes. We're like, because we interviewed 𝙎𝖒𝖒𝖈𝖆, I think it was last week or the week before, and he was kind of the same thing, but sort of growing up in the PulseChain community, I suppose we're just used to it because we have so many women. But yeah, from outside communities, they're always like, why you got all like the ladies there for?
Hey,
like,
Klaus,
I don't know.
I think that's one of the reasons some of the guys are jealous of Richard Hart. I swear. Right?
Yeah, but I would like to say thank you, DIY Investing, for coming on. You're so gracious to say yes, given your follower count, like compared to mine. I'm always surprised when people do say yes and grateful. And yeah, you've done a great job. I love it how you broke it down into narratives instead of tokens or coins. That was really kind of made me think of things in a slightly different way. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words.
Okay, Sammy, where can people find you? And is there anything that you wanted to say that you didn't?
I just want to say, firstly, thanks, Claz, for having me. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you and Hodpril. He's both beautiful and awesome and really smart. And Donovan, it was awesome meeting you. I had seen you around before, and I really like your videos, and I'm glad that you're on this journey with us and look forward to your videos in the future. And hi to everyone in chat. Good to see you all. Sammy Chica on Twitter at Sammy Chica. So if you need to follow, that's where I am.
Love it. Hodpril.
I am Hodpril on Twitter and Hodpril on Telegram. Thanks for jumping on stream with us. It's really awesome. And good luck with your project. Like the details coming tomorrow or yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. we would we'd appreciate any heads up, or if you need any help collaborating with anything, then we can help out there. So Hodpril, did you tell everybody to follow you?
Follow me, everybody.
That's
follow me.
Everybody follow everyone on
follow
the
me.
And if you haven't liked this video, don't follow that.
Don't follow.
Like and subscribe, please. I need to up my subs. They're a little bit woeful. But yeah, and write a comment if you haven't already. That apparently helps too. Thanks everyone for being on. I think Fast Abdul is hinting he wants to come on. Fast Abdul, you're welcome. I'm going to have King Daniel on, and we might do a stream where there's like new projects, and we'll just like cycle through like 4 or 5 like rapid fire and give everyone like 5 or 7 minutes or something. That will be fun. I would love to do that. So the chat has been on fire today. We finally got some oranges in there. I was waiting for them. So yeah, I see you all in chat. Avidian, Seek, Stubbs, Drix, Academaciated. How'd I go? Every time I get a bit better. David James. I'm back on track. Shout out to David James helping me lose weight. I'm on my little elliptical. Oh, I'm doing my burpees. I think of you, David, when I'm doing my burpees. David can do them. Why can't I do them? Thanks, everyone, for being here. I appreciate it. Everyone enjoy your night or your day. Bye.
Mwah.